Let's move to the NFC East now. And gosh, Elliot, you're going to fall in love with this one. It's the Dallas Cowboys, our hometown team, back in Texas. Taco Charlton, which is fitting, by the way. Tacos
Bucky's giving a D.
Sure.
I feel the first D coming.
Nah, I mean, I think this has a very Southwest flavor. When you go taco and Cheeto 1 and 2, I think you can't go wrong. But when I look at this draft, Cheeto Awuzie is a big pick for them. I think he's the best pick for them because he's someone that can come right in and start on the outside. Outstanding playmaker, versatile in his game, can play inside and outside in the slot. Strong tackling. When you look at what Rod Marinelli typically prefers on the outside, you guys got to be tough. They got to be able to play man coverage. They have to have the awareness to play in zone, but they have to make tackles on the perimeter. Awuzie can do all of those things.
Boy, there were a lot of defensive backs, though, that the Cowboys could have chosen, or that were available in this draft, though. The big question is, can he get coached up once he gets in Dallas? Because this pass defense last year, 260.4 yards per game, allowed 26th in the league. Elliot, this is a huge area of need.
Well, I was in Dallas when everyone was freaking out that Morris Claiborne went to the Jets, no Brandon Carr. You already had your best safety go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. People were concerned, but honestly, I think Doug Free retiring the right tackle was a bigger issue. And the reason why is I think Cowboys brass knew we can go in this draft, second, third, fourth round, we can get players that are equal to or maybe even better than the guys that just left. Brandon Carr's getting older, okay? Morris Claiborne would give you 8 games and then would get hurt. And so I think that they're going to be all right. Barry Church, though, was a pretty big loss.
Again, the defense, just the question marks there, because that was the problem. And for Bucky, it was a surprise for you, though, where they went later on in the draft.
Well, I'm surprised that he just went right back and got another corner in Jordan Lewis. But Jordan Lewis might have been the best nickel corner on the board in the draft. Outstanding playmaker, great ball skill. He's a little undersized, but in terms of playing the game, he plays the game the right way. Feisty, competitive, another junkyard dog on the outside. I know people beat the Dallas Cowboys up about the yards that they surrender, but understand that normally they're nursing a lead. And when you watch them play, they play a little man coverage on early downs, a little Tampa 2. They don't mind letting you move from 20-20, but typically play pretty good in the red zone. These guys fit Rod Marinelli's scheme, and they're all-day suckers, meaning they play with the right energy and enthusiasm. They're nice fits in Dallas.
But obviously, Rod Marinelli got so much credit for what he was able to do with duct tape and prayers last year with that Dallas defense.
A lot of effort.
Does he have the guys in this draft, Bucky, grade-wise, to get it done?
I mean, I give him a B+. Depending on what they get from Taco Charlton, the pass rusher. If Taco Charlton gives them a steady pass rush, and I don't mean he has to get 10 sacks. If he can just give them 8 or 9 sacks off the edge, someone that can kind of rotate in, because when you look at the Cowboys, they really rushed a lot of 3-man fronts at people and dropped 8 to really take away the big plays. That's how Dallas wants to play.
I just have one question. Would you have rather had T.J. Watt or Taco Charlton?
Taco Charlton. T.J. Watt, to me, is a nice player, but I don't think he's necessarily a game changer, a difference maker. Plus, he's not necessarily a guy that can put his hand down and play on that defensive line, down in, down out. I think Taco Charlton was a better fit for their scheme.
Hey, let's stay in the East and go to New York and take a look at the Giants, their picks in this draft. Evan Ingram, the super talented tight end out of Ole Miss, was their first-round pick. You see Wayne Gallman, a national champion at Clemson, the running back taken in the 4th round. But really, let's stick with the top of their board, Bucky, a guy at tight end who is just a super talented, super athletic wide receiver almost.
I love Evan Ingram and what he brings to this team. He gives them a Jordan Reed-like player in the middle of the field. And when you think about this offense, if I was a video gamer, I would play with the New York Giants because Evan Ingram, Odell Beckham, Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard, I don't know how you stop them. Then they got a running back in the backfield that can catch balls and Paul Perkins out. I mean, they have a lot of weapons. Eli Manning wants to play a quick rhythm passing game, connect the dots. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be bold in my proclamation.
Oh, get ready, Elliot.
I think we can print the shirts. I think the New York Giants are going to win the division.
Wow.
And they may be the team that we see in the Super Bowl. Just saying.
I mean, I'm caught off guard by this. I didn't expect such a bold proclamation.
Go
Elliot, how do you handle this?
Well,
early.
I mean, I'm a video gamer, unlike Bucky, but I play Star Wars Battlefront, so I couldn't really tell you how he does in Madden. I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. I was kind of banging the table for the Giants to at least kick the tires on Martellus Bennett again because he was there before, and I thought tight end was a huge need. The only thing I'm wondering about is you had Sterling Shepard in the slot. You just went and paid big money for Brandon Marshall, who's going to be a factor in the red zone. Could the Giants have addressed a need that would contribute better right now than this tight end? Or was it an issue, once again, where what they needed was offensive line, and there weren't a lot of great linemen in this draft.
Well, I think there weren't a lot of great offensive linemen, but when you look at how they want to play small ball. Like with this baseball, they want to hit and run. They want to get the ball out and let their weapons find a way to make things happen. And so they run a lot of slants and quick outs and get the ball on 3-step drops. And so now, Ingram in one slot, Sherford in the other, Brandon Marshall, Odell Beckham on the outside. If I'm a team, I don't know who to double team. And so for me, it's an ideal pick because he was the best route runner at the tight end position.
All right, so that's an ideal pick. Who's the surprise pick?
Davis Webb. I know people don't like to
Former Red Raider, current Bear.
I know people don't want to make the quarterback nervous because for whatever reason in football, we don't like the quarterback to have to compete. But Eli Manning did not have a great year last year.
He might make the Eli Manning face.
He did not have a great year last year. So at some point, if you're the New York Giants, we're looking to upgrade the position. I'm not saying that Davis Webb is an immediate upgrade, but he has a lot of talent that fits into the system. Eli's coming back to the pack. We're seeing all these guys get old. Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli. You got to start getting the guy ready.
Is that just something that just say, hey, Eli, by the way, you are on the clock?
Yeah, you're on the clock.
Yeah.
Everyone's on the clock. Put them on the clock. Make them work. You know, everybody else has to compete. Compete, Eli.
I tell you what, you know a lot about where Bucky's bread is buttered by his reactions to certain things. When I threw out there that GM sometimes overvalue picks, scouting departments, he gives me this straight, cold face. But then when it comes to, hey, quit being a crybaby and just get out there and compete, Bucky's all on it.
He's animated. He wants to see him earn that money.
Earn it.
Hey, you're going to be on the big show.
I agree. I was just about to look at you and say, hey, it's Eli's baby now, isn't it? We saw the drop passes against Green Bay and Lambeau.
Yep.
That hurt them, but he's going to have to play well this year, and he's got the tools to do it with.
No excuses.
All right, the grade for the 2017 Super Bowl champions in
That's
this
right.
draft.
Hey, B+. B+ right here. Boop, B+.
I don't like
B+.
this. I don't like this.
I'm just saying, like, just print the shirts.
Washington's up next. Let's take a look at their draft as we get ready to hand out a grade. And Ryan Anderson, they were rolling Tide up in Washington. Samaje Perine, by the way, I loved watching him play at OU. But they may have nabbed the best defensive talent.
They did. I don't know if you're a big investor in the stock market, but I'm a guy that subscribes to the Warren Buffett theory. I believe in taking brand names. So if you look at their draft, they invested in brand names. Alabama, UCLA, Oklahoma. Look, Jonathan Allen was a guy that probably could have been a top 5 pick. He falls down the board for whatever reason. They get him and they take him, they put him right inside. You put him alongside Ryan Kerrigan, some of the other young talent that they have. The Washington Redskins now have a menacing front four. I like what they're able to do. And my buddy Grant Manusky is taking over the defense. They're going to be able to attack you in a variety of different ways.
We're breaking down buy low, sell high, economic value theory here.
Like,
you're getting all kinds of stuff as we
face.
take a look at these. But really what we are most concerned about is just this Washington defense. 28th in yards per game allowed last year. Warren Buffett does not like that.
Well, Mark, the opportunity cost of moving up to take a quarterback like the Texans and Chiefs did, where they may not even play right now, and these are playoff teams, is that you don't contribute to what you have on the field right now. What the Redskins did, contributed to on-the-field product right now, making them a possible wild card, if not NFC East winner. Although I'm a little bit with Bucky, I'd give the Giants the advantage over the Redskins right now. I like the Redskins draft, and it started with Jonathan Allen.
Do you think Warren Buffett would be a 3-4 guy or a 4-3 guy?
I think he would look at the talent that they have and say, look, the 3-4 works for them, so I'm going to go with it. I just know that he believes in brand names. What you look around, what you invest in, you purchase. You invest in that stuff.
All right, what's the surprise investment then? What's that out of left field, that Burlington Northern Santa Fe pick?
So we talk about buying low, selling high, what they were able to do with Fabian Moreau, a corner who was hurt in the pre-draft process, hurt at his pro day workout. So they were able to get him in the 3rd round. This was a first-round talent, according to many scouts that I talked to. So you get a tall, athletic corner to put opposite Josh Norman. Then you got another competitor, another feisty guy there. You see him making the tackle. I just like this pick. I like this fit. The Washington Redskins did a great job on draft day.
I mean, Josh Norman was tweeting during the draft about all that defensive help he was getting. He's got to be excited about having some other playmakers on that side of the ball.
Well, I just like the fact that the Redskins addressed the defense in this draft. The other issue for them that a lot of people see is the wide receiver core. Because they lost a couple of guys that have been proven talents, they're going with Terrell Pryor. They're going with Josh Doxson, who they got in last year's draft, Ryan Grant. So the question marks to me coming in were defense, wide receiver core. They fortify the defense. We'll see if the wide receivers step up to the plate. But I think they're going to give the Giants all they can handle and the Cowboys because of this draft class. I think they had an A- draft. What did you say?
Well, I give him a B+.
B+. Okay,
I give him a B+, and I like everything. The only reason why I can't print the shirts is that Kirk Cousins factor. I mean, we're paying him a lot of money. I don't know if he can elevate the talents of Ryan Grant, Josh Dawson, Terrell Pryor. That stuff that he had before with Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson, he was driving a Cadillac. He's kind of come back to an Oldsmobile a little bit.
Hey, also another tip, don't pay high management fees. That's another Warren Buffett nugget. Let's go to Philadelphia, which is not Warren Buffett's team. This is Jim Cramer's team. Let's just run with this financial analogy, shall we?
Mark, you really, I mean.
Derek Barnett, Sidney Jones. You see Mac Hollins from Bucky's alma mater there, wide receiver taken in the 4th round. Who's your favorite, Buck?
Derek Barnett. I mean, I know my guy Elliot said he's a gamer now, so now I can use all these video game references. I don't know if he plays Call of Duty, but this is a Call of Duty player.
Left, right,
he's a master of the combat at the line of scrimmage, outstanding hand skills, relentless player, has a high motor, has some of that quote-unquote dog in him. He is a guy that broke Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee. And I don't know if you know about the late Reggie White, the Hall of Famer, the guy who accumulated so many sacks.
I
But
don't know history.
Derek Barnett shattered his records at Tennessee. I'm just saying, you're getting a guy that comes right off the bus that can come in and contribute. And Jim Schwartz's defense, check the box.
Channeling a little Jim Cramer right here.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when I used to play Tecmo Super Bowl, I could be Clyde Simmons. I could be Reggie White. I could be Seth Joyner. I love being the Eagles defense. And that's what they're building now for Jim Schwartz. You know, this group played pretty well at home. They let the team down a little bit on the road, but really it was the offense that let the Eagles down late in the season. I think the first few draft picks here that the Eagles had knocked it out of the park, and Jim Schwartz got some Christmas gifts early to play with. I think the Eagles defense could be a top 10 unit this year.
All right, Derek Barnett, your best pick. Who's the surprise pick?
Surprise pick, Sidney Jones. And I'm only surprised because they took him where they took him. This is a really good player. Taking him in the 2nd round, coming off that Achilles, you wonder, will he be able to recover? Will he play this year? But it's not about this year. It's about the future. This, to me, was the best cornerback in the draft. Outstanding playmaker. And when you look at him and Rasul Douglas in this cover 2 system that Jim Schwartz likes to play, it really helps because they got a pass rusher up front. The ball's going to have to come out early. It's going to come out hot, meaning high. Tips and overthrows lead to picks. They got a couple guys in the back end that can get interceptions. You know,
a couple years ago, NFC East was more like the NFC East. Last year, very competitive.
No way now, man.
Grading overall for this team.
Oh, I'm going to give them an A. This is a tough division, and we talk about all these teams investing in the corners. The common denominator, all are bigger, taller, because the wide receivers are bigger. You got to be able to challenge those big guys on the outside.
All right, that about does it for us. You can check out all of Bucky's draft grades at NFL.com. And you can also catch all of our videos as well, NFL.com and on YouTube. Cannot promise there will be as much financial wisdom in the other grade segments as well, but they're still entertaining. Thank you for watching Draft Grades Live, presented by Bud Light.
No losing records.